we have your attention this morning? Just have a seat for a moment. Do we have your attention this morning? Do I have your attention? I've got your attention. All right, pay attention to this.
See if this reminds you of anyone you know. You feel in awe when you see the beauty of a bright, beautiful sunset, or hear the cry of a newborn baby, and you know there's someone or something greater than us who must have had a hand in creating that. You believe in a higher power, yet religion hasn't necessarily been a positive experience for you. Well, you've described a lot of us in a spiritual community called unity. We believe there are many paths to God. If you found and believe in one that works for you, well, we celebrate with and for you. If you not only haven't found that path, but you haven't even found the forest, we celebrate equally with and for you. We enjoy thought-provoking messages and discussions. We play and sing a great variety of inspiring music, and above all, we welcome all. Come as you are, because you are a beloved child of God, as is each of us. Sit in the back and observe, or jump right in and take part in things. Come get a big bear hug, or settle for a handshake or a high five if you prefer. We'll meet you where you are spiritually, and we'll appreciate who you are, here and now. No matter what you've been through, no matter who you love, no matter the color of your skin or digits in your bank account, you are loved, appreciated, and celebrated, and we can't wait to meet you.
Turns me on, keeps me singing like sweet song.
Music turns me on, keeps me singing like sweet song. Music
Just give me a melody. It's easy as ABC. Just give me a melody. It's easy as ABC. Just give me a melody. It's easy as ABC. Just give me a melody. It's easy as ABC. Turn up the music. Turn up the music. Turn up the music of your life. Turn up the music. Turn up the music. Turn up the music of your life. everybody. What'd you think about that video by our very own Sean O'Shea? Wasn't that nice? Very, very nice. What a fantastic way to get our word out there about who we are. Because, you know, we don't evangelize. That's not who we are. We market. No. We don't evangelize. We know everybody's on the path that's just right for them. But we also know that sometimes people are searching for exactly what we have and don't know that we're here. So what a great way to get that word out there. And how about this morning? We got a new little setup for you. The opening song brought to you by Unity Unleashed and the Spinners. Do y'all remember the Spinners? Yeah, one of my all-time favorites. I got a few quick announcements for you this morning. First off, today's the day, the big old day. We've got right after the service, we've got our Real World, what's it called? World Cafe, Real Talks Part 2 with a potluck lunch. If you didn't bring something for the potluck, just stay. We'll never know the difference. It's fine. There'll be enough. Reverend D will bless it and break it, and we will feed 5,000 people. All right? So just plan on staying, because what's really important is now that you forgot to bring something for the potluck, what's really important is your voice. And we want to hear what vision you are going to hold together with us as a spiritual community for who we are and who we are becoming. This Tuesday, January 15th, Beliefs 101 with Becky. That says 9 p.m. I'm thinking it's 7 p.m., Becky. 7 to 9 p.m. It's a 5-week program. I believe it started last week, but I'm sure if you talk to Becky, you might be able to jump in there at any time. We're learning more and more about some of the subconscious beliefs that drive us, and we need to clear those out so that we know who's doing the driving, right? And then Friday, January 18th, empath support with Becky from 7 to 9 p.m. And so those of you who need to reclaim your sense of safety and would like to share with other empaths, if you don't know if you are an empath or not, you're probably not. I don't know. You might be one of those people that empaths feel really deeply when you walk in a room. I'm not sure. That might work for you too. But at any rate, Friday night, January 18th. And then coming up the following Tuesday, January 22nd, we'll have Reiki with Bonnie. And then the following Thursday, a mediumship and intuitive development circle with Susie Wright. I'll talk more about those next week, but just want to let you know to put them on your calendar. And now it happens to be, I don't know if it is or not, we might have missed it last week, it's birthday Sunday. If you've got a birthday in January, stand up and let us sing to you. Anybody? There we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy And now the rest of you stand up and join them, and let's sing again, shall we? Heaven is in my heart. Heaven is in my heart. The kingdom of our God is here. Heaven is in my heart. Love's presence now becomes so clear. Heaven is in my heart. Heaven is in my heart. Heaven is in my heart. We are the temple of the Lord. Heaven is in my heart. We sing this song in one accord. Heaven is in my heart. Heaven is in my heart. Heaven Just a couple more quick announcements as B comes up. And aren't we happy to see B back with us today? She's been on a beach in the Virgin Islands for the last 3 weeks. But we're happy to have her back. Just a couple more quick announcements. First off, we've been doing this pennies thing, right? Prosper the Penny Bunny, or whatever his name is. Prosper the Penny Bunny. The jars are at that table and at the front. And last week, we got quite a few people who put some pennies, extra change. It will take folding money, too. That's fine. Just know this, that we'll take checks, Visa card, whatever you've got. But here's the thing. Every time we hit $100, there's some secret, fantastic human being who's matching that. So I encourage you to dig deep and put a little extra in there, above and beyond your regular giving, of course. We still have to keep the lights on, but that's for the heating and air conditioning system that we all want to stop talking about. This week we have our regular classes going, of course. Lunch Bunch meets at 11:30 on Wednesday in the Namaste Cafe, working with the book, Creating a World That Works for All. And I want to say just a brief something about this Wednesday night class that's going on right now. It's The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And I've looked at the schedule of classes that Reverend D has put together for this year, and here's what I've discovered. They're all saying the same thing from a different way. One of those is going to reach you. I guarantee it. I believe it. I'm standing in faith right now saying that. And all of them talk about the essential nugget of what it means to live as a spiritual being. Is that true? I mean, it's the deal. That thing you've searched for all Wednesday night. I'll see you Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. It's a fantastic class. You'll want to be there. B?
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here and see all of you shining out there. Behind all appearances, beyond the illusion of separateness, we are one. We are one with ourselves, one with each other, and one with the supernal light of creation. We are the bridges between spirit and matter. We are the agents, the channels, the beings through which love manifests in this world. In this remembering lies our destiny, our hope, our joy, and our healing. The affirmation, I'll read it first and then say it with me, please. I am a child of the one light, a bridge between heaven and earth. Together, I am a child of the one light, a bridge between heaven and earth. I take a deep breath and let my body relax. I remember arriving from the far corners of the universe and tucking my light self into my human form. I am remembering the universal truths that flowed through my consciousness in that moment. As I continue to relax and breathe, those truths and timeless principles begin to come to life. I see with my eyes, hear with my ears, smell, touch, and taste the miracles that are before me each and every moment. The more mindful I become, I recognize over and over, beyond the illusion of separateness, we are one. We are one. We are one.
And so I asked you to settle into your seats and to begin with a reset breath. And as you allow Spirit to breathe back into you, affirming that I am a child of the one light. That one light, that one spark that began everything that we know, everything that we see and hear and feel and taste and touch and experience. So I just let my body relax. And I begin to remember my arrival. My arrival on a beam of light into a tiny baby body. And I brought with me all the universal truths. And they all were alive in my consciousness. And as I continue to relax into this now moment, there's a part of me that can still feel those truths. I can still sense them alive in my life. And I recognize them in my day-to-day journey. I am a child of the one light. I am a bridge between heaven and earth. In the silence. In the silence. Beyond all appearances, beyond all illusions of separation, we are one. We are all children of the one light. And in this moment, we surrender to that fact.
I surrender all to you. Take my heart and my soul too. I know you hear each time I call. I surrender all. I surrender.
I'm going down to the river, gonna throw in a rock and watch all the circles that it makes. I'm gonna reach out to somebody who's down on their luck and see what a difference I can make.
Do unto others before they do unto you. Show a little kindness and compassion too. Do unto others as late the day you go. Then step back and watch each seed of love that you've planted grow.
When I was a kid, I played with dominoes. Set 'em up, touch just one, and over they would go. Let's start a chain reaction, let love lead the way. All mankind will celebrate as we create a brand new day.
Do unto others before they do unto you. Show a little kindness and compassion too. Do unto others as through the day you go. Then step back and watch each seed of love that you've planted grow. Do unto others.
Let's live by the golden rule.
Do unto others.
For love's sake, just be a fool.
Do unto others.
As through the day we go,
Then step back and watch each seed of love that you planted grow.
Yes. So, what would it be like if we did that? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So, know that there's going to be two moments in time in this service that we're going to talk amongst ourselves, and this is the first one. How would your life be different this afternoon and tomorrow if everything you did and said and experienced you did from a place of only doing what you would want someone else to do to you? Go. So, no, I just want you to push the pause button for a minute because I'm going to give you a little bit deeper something to discuss right here. Because I know you all have the same issue that I do. But I need to tell somebody what I think. Go again. So I hope you solved all of that. Because how do we remember to do unto others as we would want them to do unto us when we feel like we have to give somebody a piece of our mind? You ever done that? And you know what I have heard from some of my teachers is you can do it in a kind and gentle way. Hence our lesson today. So buckle up. Because can we really? Can we learn how to be what we say we are this year at Unity of Music City? Many voices, one spirit. Which means we're not always going to all agree. Can you hear that? Even in this room, we're not always all going to agree. And when we don't agree, we have to be willing to sit down and talk to somebody instead of getting on Facebook or ripping around out there and telling everybody else what you think about that person. Does that make sense? You have to let that person know somehow or other. That's the hard part. But wouldn't you want that to happen to you? If somebody's got a bone to pick with you, wouldn't you rather them come and pick it with you than to put it on Facebook? Yeah. So everybody breathe. Some of you were here last week when Deb Moore sphinctered up a little bit with one of our little things here. And I'm going to add a little something to it so that it becomes a little bit more clear what our path is this year. The first step is remembering our oneness. We're going to be doing that for a while. Some of us will get it quickly, and some of us will have to keep working at it. Hopefully, it'll happen in here in this room quicker than it will happen at Walmart or in your car on the drive to work or wherever else you struggle with remembering that we are both children of the light when someone is showing you their darkness or when you're showing someone else your darkness. And then the second thing we're going to do is awaken to that light. And what I did last week is I began to prep you with what that means. In the Old Testament, it's called the refiner's fire. That doesn't sound fun, does it? But that's literally what is happening. We changed the word in the New Testament to be that, baptism. But it's still baptism by fire, by the Holy Spirit. Which means what's happening to us is that anything that is unlike the Christ is burning up and leaving. Some of us are going to catch on fire. Does that make sense? Because that's really what it is. Now, religions have made it be really nice. Anybody in here ever dunked? I was. Dunked? Twice. I did it twice, too. I really wasn't sure what it was about the first time, except that I got wet. And then I did it again, and I still wasn't really sure what it was about. I was also born in the old St. Thomas Hospital, and back in those days, they christened all babies. They don't do that anymore. It's not legal, but they did then. And then I was rose-petaled on the head by Jimmy Scott over at First Church Unity. But that's not really what baptism is. Baptism is just a nice word for this refiner's fire stuff because it's supposed to cleanse you of everything that is unlike the Christ light. That's what it's about. It sounds a little bit more sophisticated than being burned up, doesn't it? But what happens is once you are baptized by fire, then you really get ready for the third candle up here because you're ready for the harvest. Now tell me what you see before the harvest. Giving what? Which we talk about a lot here. You want to know what your harvest is going to be after you go through remembering and baptism? Whatever your harvest will be is what you have given of your time and talent and treasures, because what you put out there is what you get back. Turn to somebody and say, what you put out there is what you're going to get back. Isn't that exciting? Woohoo! So some of us may be crying by September. When we go, is this all there is? And then we have to look back and go to January and go, what was I putting out at that point in time? I was putting out pisiosity. So guess what I get in September? Pisiosity. Does that make sense? Because this is not just about money. This is about who you are as a being in this world. And what you share with others is going to come rooshing back into you. That's a very technical term, rooshing. Woo. But that's going to be your harvest. How exciting. Because once all of that is in place, you become the Christ. Now, the process between awakening and becoming the Christ can be as easy or as difficult as we want to make it. Can you hear that? Some of you are going, oh. It depends on you. It depends on your journey, your individual journey. It depends on what you choose to use for your journey this year. We offer a lot of classes here. We offer a lot of workshops here. We offer a lot of processes here. They offer many, many processes in many, many wonderful places in Nashville, Tennessee. But what I'm going to tell you is you can't do it by yourself. You can't. You have to be a part of a group of people so that you can get some feedback. So somebody can say, your pisiosity is showing. So that someone that you love and trust can remind you that you still got a little something, something to do before you become the Christ. Does that make sense? How's that working for you? So today's lesson is called Timeless Principles. We're going to be studying many timeless, universal principles that are the same no matter what religion, no matter what spirituality, no matter what kind of a lifestyle someone's living, they're still timeless principles. There's actually going to be 7 of them. We'll be studying all 7 of them through July. 7 is a really divine number. 7 days of creation, 7 days in a week. 7 is a number of perfection and completion. It's like, okay, I've done this. So, January's timeless principle is, somebody read that out loud. Somebody else read it from another side of the room. One more person, read that out loud. Consciousness. That's one of those words that New Thought throws out there. And it had become such a word that I used so much that I didn't really realize till I did a 5-year stint with Metro Schools at Pennington Elementary that they had no clue what I was talking about. And eventually, one of probably the smartest teachers that was there that had 400 different doctorate degrees came in my office and closed the door one day and said, "What's this consciousness shit you keep talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about." And I went, duh. It means that I'm awake and aware of what is at any moment. That's a simple layman's term. I'm awake and aware of what is at any moment. But what I want to tell you, even right now in this room, some of you are awake and aware of certain things, and some of you are not. Some people are awake and aware of many levels of dimensions in this room and other beings that are in this room right now. And some people are not. Some people are aware of everybody else's emotions in the room. The empath thing she was talking about, some people are not. Some people in this room can kind of read people's thoughts. Oh, dear God, no. And some people can't. There's many different levels of consciousness going on just in this one room. Guess what happens when you go out in the world? Oh, dear God. And so our consciousness, my consciousness, is potential set in motion through the process of evolution. My consciousness keeps evolving. That's part of the deal of being here in this human form. And as my consciousness evolves, then the people that are around me get to experience that. As your consciousness evolves, the people around you get to experience that. The people that work with you begin to understand that you've shown up differently and they don't know why. But it's probably a good thing. The other thing you need to hear that I will talk about some during the month of January is race consciousness. We are all a part of that, whether we like it or we don't. There is a conscious belief that people get sick and die. You either buy into that or not. There's a conscious belief on our planet that there is not enough for everybody. You either believe that or not. It's all about consciousness. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I have a hard enough time trying to decide what I'm going to believe. But you have to know that all of these ideas and things are out there, and we're living in a world that is created because of that. There are some people that have the consciousness that it's all about money and power and control, and they don't give a flip about anybody else. And that's part of race consciousness. Not necessarily your belief, but it's a part of what's out there. And so then when we go out there and say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, that doesn't always fly in certain ways, in certain places. This was up last week because we're going to do a little bit of talking about Mother Earth for a minute. The laws of nature are the skeleton of the universe. They support it, give it shape, tie it together. Taken as a whole, they embody a vision of our world that is both breathtaking and awe-inspiring. The laws of nature are always there, always working. Unfortunately, the major problems in the world are the result of difference between how nature works and the way people think. Talk to somebody beside you about what that means to you. Go. Something I heard down here in the front is, do you think the golden rule works for Mother Nature too? I think Mother Nature is pissed at all of us. Seriously. Whether you want to call it global warming, you want to call it that the seasons have changed, things are different. Because nature's laws work whether we want to admit it or not. Our present world is conditioned by our present mode of consciousness. Remember race consciousness. Even if I don't necessarily agree, if there is a major group of human beings that have a certain consciousness, they could trump me. Literally. Excuse me. I'm not supposed to be political, but there you go. Only when that consciousness passes from its present dualistic mode will the new creation appear, which is the external reality of which our world is a mirror. Be read about us not being separate, but race consciousness believes we are, and believes we separate for many different reasons. Color is just one of them. Religion is one. Education is one. Economic stability is one. There are many reasons why people separate in our world. But remember, we are one. Again, we get that right here until we walk out into the world and we view somebody and think, ooh, I'm not like that. So, how many of you remember a book written in about 2009 called The New Earth? I think it was 2005. Remember that? We were also very excited about it. We thought everything was going to be different. This is something he has put out on his website recently. Is a new earth arising where humans no longer create unnecessary suffering for themselves and others? Or do we still need a fundamental shift in human consciousness? I believe the second is true. So, some of you can see some of this and some of you cannot, probably, very well. But the last piece of what you're going to talk to each other about is one of the connecting links with all religions and pretty much all peoples is that we're supposed to treat people the way we want to be treated. Whether you think that's a religious statement or the golden rule, but it does not happen. And I'm going to tell you, even though I don't know everybody personally, it doesn't happen with any of us 100% of the time. There are days when I don't treat Judy the way I want to be treated because I think I have something I need to tell her, and she needs to sit down and listen. And I know you've got people like that in your world. Maybe employees, it could be anybody. But when you think that somebody has got to have a piece of your mind, you are not treating them in the way that you want to be treated because you don't want them to do the same thing to you. Now, if you look, those are some of the major religions, and they're in the golden rule is stated, but a little bit differently. Some of it's stated in the positive. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. Some of it's stated in the negative. Do not do to other people what you don't want done to you. I want you to talk with whomever you've been talking about which one of those kind of speaks to your heart more than others. Now, I'm going to read off a few things for you to hear. Christianity, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Judaism, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. Sikhism, I am a stranger to no one, and no one is a stranger to me. Indeed, I am a friend to all. Islam, Not one of you truly believes until you wish for others what you wish for yourself. Taoism, regard your neighbor's gain as your gain and your neighbor's loss as your loss. Buddhism, treat not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. Hinduism, this is the sum of duty. Do not do to others what would cause pain if done to you. For a minute amongst yourselves, which one speaks to your heart? So if you look up on the screen, those of you who were here last week remember seeing this picture. This is what unity was created for. Unity, the movement of unity, was created for just this, for all religions to come together and to find their common ground and to start from there. And I ask you, why is it that we start from things that are not our common ground and fight through them? Because even the snarliest person that I've dealt with in the last year, I can find common ground with them. If I'm willing to sit and listen, there's the deal. We have to listen more than we talk. But again, I want to give you a piece of my mind, and I want to tell you what I think, and you're going to sit down and shut up and listen. Versus, tell me where you're coming from. I want to hear. I want to know. Which is one of the reasons we're doing another World Cafe today. Honestly, it would be much easier for me and the Leadership Council just to do whatever in the hell we want to do around here. And just say, here's what we're doing. Have at it. But we're not going to do it that way because we've bought into what we call organic community, which means everybody has a voice, which means we want to hear. We want to hear what you have to say. As different streams having different sources all mingle their waters in the sea, so different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to God. Many paths. We're all going to the same place. Another way of saying it by Pablo Picasso is there is only one way to see things until someone shows us how to look at them with different eyes. And so are we open to those conversations of going, I never thought about it like that. And now I am thinking about it like that. All things are bound together. All things connect. whatever befalls the earth befalls also the children of the earth. I know some of you don't have kids, but some of you do. And as I sat yesterday and held sweet little Zachary Hindle for about 3 hours, I kept thinking, what is going on in our world? And what's it going to be like when he's 20? What are we leaving for him to deal with? Because, you know, when I go to some of the One Nashville meetings and talk to some of the people over in One Nashville, and I began North Nashville, and I began to hear some of the reasons some of those people are fighting and fussing is because they don't see it any other way. Some of you are going, huh. So I want you to hear that from me. Life for them is so difficult, they don't even know how to dig up out of the hole that they're in. Mothers over there who are single, trying to raise kids, trying to pay their bills, trying to work, trying to pay for child care, trying to, until they go, I'm not going to use the F word, I'll just go rob a bank. And we can sit in here in our little highfalutin place and go, oh, well, I would not do such a thing. But if you really got to know some of those people and let go of your white privilege, you would begin to understand what they're dealing with. Everybody breathe. Just breathe. It's all okay. But we have to wake up in Nashville, Tennessee, because we have many, many, many kinds of people living here now. We've become the it city. Woohoo, aren't we proud? And there are many, many people struggling in ways that we can only begin to wrap our minds around. And so what is it for us to do? We're going to be spending lots of this year talking about 7 universal principles, the first being consciousness. Our consciousness is potential, set in motion through the process of evolution. What is it that I'm willing to believe and hold in consciousness for the city of Nashville? For Donaldson Hermitage Old Hickory, I've shared this with you all before. It doesn't make me feel good, but we are the #1 capital of the United States for human trafficking right here. Can we make a difference? These are really tiny words. And I'm going to ask praise and worship team to come up and get set up as I read these to you. We must rapidly begin the shift from the thing-oriented society to a person-oriented society. Can you hear that? When machines and computers, profit motives, and property rights are considered more important than people, the giant triplets of racism, materialism, and militarism are incapable of being conquered. Can you hear that? We have got to stop thinking about this being a thing-oriented society and move back to person-oriented society, because time keeps on slipping into the future.
Time keeps on slipping into the future. keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea, fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. Oh, through the revolution, feed the babies who can't get enough to eat, shoe the children with no shoes on their feet, house the people living in the street. Oh, there's a solution. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea, fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free, fly right into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I want to fly like an eagle to the sea, fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. I want to fly right into the future.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you know, but Judy Blackwelder wrote that song. I'm just. It's time for us to do the sacred walk of abundance. This is our opportunity to give back when we have received so much. So if you will take your tithes, offerings, and gifts in your hand and join me in the affirmation, please. I live in the midst of infinite abundance. I give freely and fearlessly to life, and life gives back to me. Please join us.
voices, one spirit, a new day is dawning. Can you feel it? Different choices we make, different roads we may take. We are many voices, one spirit, singing my song until the whole world hears it. Songs of peace and grace, songs of hope and faith, finding our common ground. We'll let the light shine through. We are many voices, one spirit, singing my song until the whole world hears it. Songs of peace and grace, songs of hope and faith, songs of love for all the human. Many voices, one spirit.
So open our hands and our hearts and our minds. Living, loving Spirit, we are many voices, and we are one spirit here. We are love and joy and peace. And anything unlike that, we choose to release it in this now moment. We bless these tithes and offerings. We know that they have been given from that place of love and joy and peace. And we know that these funds will be used and will be moving through this Unity of Music City to go out into the world to bless others, to create more of a life of love and joy and peace. And so it is. Amen.
Tomorrow is the first day of classes at Volunteer State Community College. And the thing that I always tell my students about attendance is not that I'm going to get all upset if they're not here, but the dynamic of the class changes completely if their presence is not there with us. If you are still wondering whether or not you're going to stay for this potluck and real talks, I hope that right now you will decide how important your presence will be to us and stay. Let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Test, test, test. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, hey. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, The next stop that we make, it's gonna be England. And tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Come on. No love train.